Welcome to another video. I am the Starman. Now I've got an interesting one for you today. I'm going to be doing this in daylight. In fact, I'm going to bring you a really nice sunset, hopefully, because I want to use it to explain the autumnal equinox. Now I'm actually a little bit late in bringing you this video because we're past the autumnal equinox now, but it doesn't really matter when you're watching this video because I think you'll find it really interesting. Now the autumnal equinox is pretty much the opposite of the spring equinox. The only difference is that we're on the opposite side of the sun, of our orbit of the sun. So us in the northern hemisphere, as we pass the equinox, we've left summertime and we're now heading into winter. We're heading towards the winter solstice. So what's happening is, as the earth goes round in its orbit, the northern hemisphere where we are is being tilted further away from the sun. Trying to explain it without a globe, it's not very easy, but becoming more away from the sun. And if you're in the southern hemisphere, say you're in Australia or something like that, it's the opposite way around. It's their spring equinox and they're heading towards their summer, so it's just flipped the other way around. So something else as well, the equinox does not mean equal day and night. That would be the equilux, which happens a few days after the autumnal equinox and a few days before this vernal equinox, the spring equinox. Now equilux means equal day and night. Now it depends where you are on the earth, where this happens. It doesn't happen near the equator, but if you're somewhere of a mid-latitude, that tends to happen, like I say, happens before, a few days before the spring equinox and a few days after the autumnal equinox. So anyway, what I want to do in this video is I want to show you something very interesting. Now I live in Blackpool, and you might know that Blackpool has a very straight promenade. It goes up and down like that, north to south. So when you're walking up and down Blackpool Promenade, you always know pretty much where north and south is, because if you're south of the town, when you look towards the town, you're looking straight towards the north. It's dead easy. I don't think there's anywhere else in this country that has such a straight promenade as what Blackpool does. And it's going to be really good to explain the autumnal equinox. Oh wow, the sun's come out now. That's great. That's just what we want, because I want to try and capture the sun as it's setting. Now, at this time of year, it's going to be setting pretty much due west. Okay, so I'm just showing you a map on the screen now, and you can see there that Blackpool Promenade, as I say, it runs pretty much north and south. Now I'm going to zoom into a street, and the street's called Worley Road. It's on North Promenade, so it's about a mile north of the tower, and this street is pretty much east and west, as you can see on the map there. And it also looks downhill as well. It's next to the big hotel, the Grand Hotel, which used to be the Hilton. And I think this is going to be an ideal street to show you how the sun sets pretty much due west on the equinox. Now, as I did say before, we are a few days past the equinox, but really it's not going to make a whole lot of difference, and the sun will pretty much set in the same sort of place by sight. As I say, I think this is going to be a really good way to show you the way that the sun sets due west this time of year. And what I'll probably do in a future video is I'll probably show you how the sun sets on the solstice, on the winter solstice, and that will be way over to the left, way over to the southwest, over Wales. But anyway, I'm going to make my way up to the street now, and hopefully we might get the sun touching down on the horizon. That would be really nice. But if it doesn't, hopefully we'll get something close enough, and we'll be able to see this effect of the sun setting due west from Blackpool, close to or just after the autumnal equinox. So let's go and do that then. Right, okay, so I'm just making my way now to the road that leads down to the promenade, where hopefully we'll be able to get the sun setting right at the bottom. Okay, so we're now at the top of the street that I was talking about. Here we are at a crossroads, and we're now looking down the street, and as you can see, we've got the sun coming down over there, and that's going to be setting, should be setting straight down the road in about 25 minutes. I think we're going to get it touching the horizon as well. Right, okay, so I've now come onto the road now, and I'm heading down the middle of the road. I hope I don't get run over. So I'm going to nip down there and show you the promenade, explain a few things, and then I'll come back up here again for sunset. Okay, so I'm now on the promenade now, and I'm just going to show you around. So back behind me is north. This is the street where I've come from towards the east, and back down this way towards the tower behind me. I don't know if you can see the tower. And obviously out this way towards the west. Right, I'm just nipping over the road now because I want to show you the amazing views that we have here in Blackpool and why this place is so perfect for showing you the equinox. Just look at this vista we've got here. Look at this. So this is towards the north. We can see Cumbria out there. Cumbria, looking down on Lower Promenade there. And as we come along here, the tide's in, as you can see. We're now looking straight out towards the west, and you can see now that the sun is coming down. Very close now, not far off, about 20 minutes away from sunset. It looks like we're going to get it hitting the water. And then as we come down this way, as I said before, we've got the tower down here, straight to the south. So look at, we've got all this here to see. Now then, what do you think of that? Look at that. The sun is setting pretty much due west tonight. Now we are 4 days after the equinox, but that doesn't really matter too much. The sun is still setting due west from our location here on Blackpool Promenade. And as we go into winter, the position of the sun when it sets is going to move slowly this way. And then when we get to the winter solstice, it's going to be setting somewhere over here. And what a perfect vista we've got to see that. And then next year, as we head towards the spring equinox, the sun will be setting back here again. And then as we go into next summer, you're setting up here. We get to see it all from here because we've got such a nice flat horizon. Well, how good does that sunset look? And of course it's not the sun that's moving so much, it's more the earth, because we orbit around the sun, or we orbit around the centre of gravity, which is inside the sun. So it's the earth moving and the tilt of the earth which keeps its same angle as it goes around the sun that causes this to happen. Yeah, so it looks like we're going to get a really nice sunset. It looks like I chose a really good day to do this. It's been a little bit cloudy actually, not been able to do it until now. So anyway. Right, okay, so the sun's not too far away from setting now, so I'm going to head back up the street there, back to the top again, and we'll see if we can get the sun setting right, straight down the street. Okay, so I'm just heading up the street now, and it's looking really good behind me. It looks like we're going to get the sun touching the horizon. It looks amazing. Wait till you see this. Okay, just look at this now. I think I'm going to have to underexpose the camera so that we can see it better. Now then, I am stood in the middle of the road, but I have to do this to give the full effect. And you can see that the sun is setting pretty much down the road, slightly to the left, but that's probably because we're past the equinox by a few days. So there you go. How about that? Amazing or what? So there you go. There's the sun setting pretty much due west, just a few days past the equinox. Straight down this street, just like I said it would. How amazing is that? I'm going to go for a closer look. Well, I'm going to leave it there now, and I hope you've learned something. I hope you liked the video. I think this was a really great way of explaining it, using Blackpool promenade. What do you think? An amazing sunset as well. Absolutely. What the hell was that? Some people are setting those bangers off all over the place. So anyway, like I say, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you do, hit the like button and also hit subscribe, and also tick the bell for notifications of new videos, and I will see you again on the next one.